The story of elder Schweizers, the value of dedications. Younger Schweitzer often pondered life. He'd been given many gifts and he wanted to share them with others. At 21, he gave himself 9 years to improve his talents, and then he would dedicate himself to serve others. So he became a famous organist and wrote a book about organs and one about Bach. At the dictionary, Schweitzer studied science and philosophy, became a minister and wrote books about Christianity. After 9 years, he knew he wanted to go to Africa and tell Helen, his sweetheart. Schweitzer was determined, and in 1911, later medical school.
After
medical school, he passed his exam, followed by a year's internship. Finally, he asked Paris Missionary Society to send him to somewhere in Africa that had a hospital. Schweitzer also informed men he wouldn't need a salary, as he could live off the money he'd earned from his book. He could hardly wait to tell Helen he was being sent to La Barrenne in Africa's west coast, near the equator. There people there suffered from terrible disease, and he wanted to help. He asked Helen if he can put up with him, and she responded with a yes. So they married, and a few letters bought a boat for Africa. Their ship against Cape Robbs. There they got on a smaller boat, and the last few miles they traveled by canoe. Arriving at the clearing, they saw only some shacks surrounded by forest. The next day, they began cleaning and painting an old chicken house, which became the hospital. Schweitzer also built shelves for his medications. Throngs of people came to see these new doctors, which was exhausting. About the same time, a local approached Schweitzer and asked in French if he needed help. Josephus then introduced himself, stating that he spoke English, French, and 8 different African languages. He became an assistant whom Schweitzer needed. Once a cook, Josephus knew anatomy and said things like, "This man has a pain in his leg of mutton." Josephus were things how the legs of muttons and knew where the pain was. Josephus also learned about medications and help during operations. They also built more buildings, including cots for 6 people to stay in. special word, which was army, because they were
令人担忧再一次
alarming,
alarming
because they were Germans in French territory. Eventually, hospital closed, and only Josephus was left to guard medicines. The Schweizers been taken to a monastery, where they stayed until 1918, when they were allowed to return Germany. Soon after they had a baby. Through happy, Schweizers want to return to La Bourgogne, but didn't think it's healthy for his new daughters. Ultimately, he decided against taking hers, but he felt he needed to return, because those were his people. After raising money for surprise and additional buildings, he returned to Africa by himself. When Schweitzer reached La Bourgogne, little was left. The jungle had taken over, so he and Joseph began again. Over the years, they built a larger hospital and 14 huts to house several hundred people. Schweitzer's dedications became known worldwide. Queen Elizabeth gave him oath of marriage. In 1952, he received the Nobel Peace Prize and used the money for a new building. Not everyone can be a doctor in Africa, but you can help people no matter your whereabouts. When people ask why he didn't rest, Schweitzer would answer, "My humanity is like money. If I keep it in a jar on a shelf, it can do nothing. But if I spend it others, look at what can happen."
好。